Whether you're interested in history or the supernatural, or both, the Winchester Mystery House would probably catch your eye. Nestled in the busy city of San Jose, California, it's not your typical home by any means. The Winchester Mystery House is a 24,000 square foot mansion with 10,000 windows, 2,000 doors, 160 rooms, 52 skylights, 47 stairways and fireplaces, 17 chimneys, 13 bathrooms, and 6 kitchens, which is insane on its own, but the story of why this place even exists is even crazier. Construction began on the Winchester Mystery House in 1886 after a woman by the name of Sarah Winchester moved to the Santa Clara Valley and purchased the property. Sarah was the widow of William Wirt Winchester, owner of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company and manufacturer of the Winchester rifle, who had passed away from tuberculosis back in 1881. Following his death, which occurred 15 years after the couple's infant daughter had died of disease, legend has it that Sarah decided to consult with a psychic medium to deal with the distress of losing both of her loved ones. Supposedly, the psychic told Sarah that the tragedies in her life were actually caused by the angered spirits of those who had died by way of the Winchester rifle, and that the only way to relieve herself of this curse would be to move to the West, as she currently lived in New Haven, Connecticut, and to build a house there without ceasing. This is an absolutely wacky theory, and whether this was actually what Sarah was told or not is unknown, but the tale remains as such. So, when Sarah arrived in California, she bought herself an 8-room farmhouse and began the never-ending construction, which would, in fact, continue on until her death in 1922. Since Sarah had inherited roughly 50% ownership of the arms company and more than $20.5 million, which would equate to around $550 million today, she had no trouble in affording this wild architectural endeavor. Still, so much of what she did with the home seems unexplainable and like such a waste of money and time. For example, there are multiple staircases and doors within the home that just lead to nothing, or to an abrupt multi-story drop to the ground outside. Many people attribute these oddities to her trust in what the psychic told her and considered it a way to possibly confuse the vengeful spirits, but she never revealed this to be true or false. There were also some other strange features, such as the easy riser stairways, which some view as also being related to the supposed ghost, but many actually point to the widow's debilitating arthritis to explain away this one. Nonetheless, the mansion as a whole is incredibly strange and was originally a ridiculous 7 stories tall. It was only reduced to the 4 stories it stands at today after the home sustained damage from the 1906 earthquake that could have entirely demolished the building if not for its floating foundation. Even with 3 fewer stories now, though, the house had plenty of space to be filled with Sarah's peculiar imagination creations. As stated earlier, construction on the home continued from 1886 all the way until the widow's death in 1922. This meant that the house was continuously being built, rebuilt, and renovated for no given reason. While this would seem to lend some credibility to the tale of the psychic and the angry ghosts, Sarah herself never gave us a clear answer for what in the world inspired her to do something so astonishingly unusual. That means that we actually don't really know the full story of the Winchester Mystery House or why it even exists as it does today, but whether it's because of a Winchester curse or ended up serving as some type of coping mechanism for a grieving widow, there's no doubt that this mansion is a historical abnormality.